Hey, Christy here from Loom Crafty Fiber Arts. Today I want to show you how to loom knit the Winter Whispers hat. I'm going to show you the cast on, the inch brim up to here, and then I'm going to send you to a link. This is one of my other stitches that you just do repeats until you get the length you want. And then we'll be doing ewraps at the top, and then I did a basic drawstring bindoff. I'll send you to a link for that if you don't know how to do it or you need a refresher, or you can use whatever bindoff you want. This was done in a number 5 bulky yarn on my 48 peg KB round loom. It measures about 20 inches, the brim, but it will stretch out to about 22, and it is 9.5 inches long. So the length would be dependent upon how many sets of this stitch you do, and then adding your ewraps at the top if you choose to do yours this way. If you don't and you want to do a different bindoff, you don't have to do the ewraps. That's entirely up to you. You can just continue on up with this stitch till you get the length you want. And I just measure mine. I don't count rows. Okay, so I'm going to start with, and I'm going to show you on my little 3/8 gauge here with a number 3 weight yarn. And I'm just going to do about 6 pegs and show you how to do the hat. And then I'm going to send you to the link for the body to show you how to do the brim and the cast on. So I did a cast on garter stitch. It's up to you, whatever you want to do, but I thought the garter looked good with it. It gave it a little more character. So we're going to do a slip stitch. And then I'm going to do the garters, which is going to be ewraps. And I'm going to do about 6 rows. And then I'm going to pretend I went all the way around and finish those. And then I would be doing purls to finish that garter. So we will purl, ewrap 1 row, purl 1 row for the cast on, or your choice. See if I can get the camera in here a little bit better. Okay. Now, cast on's finished. We're going to go all the way back around, and we're going to start with row 1. Row 1 would be wrap 2 is 1, and this is one of my stitches I did just the other day. And we're going to lay it in front and purl it. Now pay attention, because this is not my usually wrap 2, purl is 1. This is the purl hug stitch, or the hug purl stitch. I can't remember what I called it now. I think it's the purl hug stitch. And then we're going to wrap it back around after we purl it, back around the back of that peg, and we'll come down through the middle again, and between the 2 that we just knit off, and we're going to purl it again. Okay, so this is row 1. So we're going to come from peg 2, wrap around the back of the next 2 pegs, knit them both, lay your working yarn in front, purl, and then wrap around and back around that peg, back to the front. You're purling them from the inside again that second time. And this is part of the purl hug stitch that I just released about a week ago. And I can leave the link to it below in case you don't remember or need a refresher or need to watch it. And then we're going to purl, wrap around, and purl again. Okay? That's row 1. Cast on garter, purl, part of the purl hug stitch for row 1. Now, row 2, we're going to do all, well, let's go around, make sure we've finished our, like we finished our row. We're going to do all purl overs. So purl over, purl over, purl over, all the way across. So we wrap around like an ewrap, skip up from the bottom, pull our working yarn down that loop, flip it over, snug it up. Okay, that's row 2. I'm going to wrap back around like we finished that. You would do that the whole row. We're going to go to row 3. We're going to do the same thing. We'll do that purl hug stitch, part of that purl hug stitch. We're going to knit both pegs off in front, purl, wrap around and purl again. Wrap around, purl. After you knit, purl again, and do the same thing. You'll do this all the way around the loom. Wrap around the back side, in between, and purl one more time. And then we're going to finish that row. Pretend we finished that row. We're going to go all the way around. We're going to do another row of purl overs. And I'll go back over this with you when we get this brim part done. Purl overs. Okay, and you can do this on any loom as long as it's even pegged. Then we're going to go back around again like we finished all the purl overs around the loom. We're going to do that hug stitch one more time, hug purl stitch. So we'll do one more set of those. Purl, wrap around, purl the second time. You'll do this all the way around the loom. And then back around in between, purl again. You do that all the way around your loom. So we're going to wrap around, pretend we've done that. Now we're going to do something different. Now we're going to do all ewraps. And we finish those. Go back around, and then we're going to do all purls. So we're going to do another set of garter. I didn't flip that one over. So this is our set of garter. That is the top part of the brim. I'll show you in a minute where I'm at on the hat, where you'll be when you finish this. Okay, so that's the brim part. You see that right there? There's the brim part, and that's going to look a little bit more lacier because this is with a number 3 yarn on a 3/8 gauge. Now here is the brim part here with a 5 weight. Now what we did was, let's go over this again. Our cast on is garter. 1 row ewraps, 1 row purls. Our next row is a row of the purl hug stitch where you wrap 2 as 1, knit both pegs off, purl, then wrap around the back side of that peg, coming from the inside again, and purl that same peg one more time. So do a whole row of those. Then we do, that would be row 1. Row 2, we're going to do all purl overs. Row 3, we do a row of the purl hug stitch again. Row 4, we do purl overs. Row 5, we do another row of a purl hug. You will end with a purl hug, and then you'll do another row garter. So you're doing one row of purl hug, one row of purl overs after you do the cast on. One row of purl hug, one row of purl overs, then one last row of purl hug, part of the purl hug, and then you'll do a row of garter. And this is your row of garter right here. And then it's going to start this stitch, and I'm going to give you the length to this stitch. And then when you make yours as long as you want to, you'll do so many sets of this stitch. That's all it is this particular stitch. And then to get the length that I wanted, I did about 6 rows of ewrap up here, and then I did the drawstring bind off. And the only reason I did the ewrap up here is so it wouldn't be so bulky when I closed it off with the drawstring bind off. With the drawstring bind off, if I'd have run this stitch all the way up, it would have been really a lot more bulky and wouldn't have been as smooth up here. But if you prefer a different bind off, that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to leave you a link to the body of the hat and the bind off. And I'll also leave you the link to the purl hug stitch if you want to go back and look at it, or you want to learn how to do it, because there's more to it than just that one row. It's actually a 2-row repeat, but we're only using 1 row of it in this pattern. Okay, so that's all I have today. I hope you enjoy it, and if you make a if you make a winter whispers hat, let me know. I'd love to see it. Bye-bye.